move into the next topic, boys. We've got Chicago Cubs making the news again because Kris Bryant. Excuse me.
Kris with a K.
Kris with a K.
And an R.
With no
and an I.
H.
And an S.
No H.
No H.
And a Bryant with a B.
Yep. Continue.
Spell it.
With an R, with a Y, and an A-N-T.
All right.
Bryant.
We got that all out there now.
Bryant.
Thank you for that. We got Kris Bryant taking some media questions.
Do you want me to spell it again?
No, I think we're good for now. Taking some media questions where, honestly, if you heard his answers, it almost sounded like he was just exhausted with everything that's been said about him. And the fact that this is the first time he's coming out and talking about this, it was very much a, look, I'm talking about it. That means it matters to me. If I didn't say something publicly, then it doesn't matter. Like, you guys are guessing and taking stabs at what this means to me and what the Cubs have done for me or to me over this whole process. And, you know, the biggest thing that stuck out to me was that imaginary offer that he mentioned, the $200 million. How many year was that? Is it a 5?
It was 7.
7,200. 7,200 that he claims doesn't even exist. And that's just, it struck me as very interesting because, you know, people trying to ship him out now versus later, you know, one way or the other, Kris Bryant's going to be a professional to play baseball, but just all of this seems to be wearing on him at this point. And this seemed like a frustrating kind of just I don't want to call it an outburst, but it definitely struck me. Was this like a planned thing? Sean, you have to tell me because I wasn't in the loop when this happened.
So it was just a press conference. So I think it was a speaking arrangement. I don't think it was anything that he came out because the big talk was that he was going to. He wanted to speak to the Chicago media about the grievance and all that stuff first.
Oh, okay.
So he talked a little bit about
that.
Yeah. So he was in Las Vegas, you know, just helping out in his hometown, and the Las Vegas media started asking him about Cubs specific questions. He was like, "No, I'm going to wait until I'm in front of the Chicago media. They haven't had a shot since the end of the season to talk to me about this stuff, so I'm going to wait." And now when they've arrived at spring training, he talked to the media today, and that's where I think the exhaustion that you spoke of really stood out. I think that he's sick of having his name thrown out there and people kind of bashing him for no reason because he's not demanding a trade. He's not saying he wants to leave. And it just seems like the media, and I think it's mainly the media that is getting tips from the Cubs front office, is trying to paint him as somebody that is very expendable. And I think that is the media, the narrative that the Cubs want to put out because right now they're looking to trade their best player in Kris Bryant. So this is the first time he's spoken to Chicago media, and the frustration that you spoke of absolutely rang true. He seems exhausted by these rumors. He seems exhausted about what he has or hasn't turned down. He's exhausted by the grievance, and I think he just really wants to shut all of that out and play baseball. Whether that be for the Cubs, whether that be for another team, I think he just wants an answer. And that's what the biggest takeaway I took from his comments. I think he does want to be a Chicago Cub. I don't think he cares that much about, you know, the rumors entirely. I think that he's looking just to play baseball. If it's for the Cubs, it's for the Cubs. I think he just wants an end to it. So if he can sign an extension, cool. If he has to get traded, cool. I think that he just wants to make his market value, and he wants to be out of these rumors, which is a little bit tough because you got 2 years of control, and this team obviously doesn't want to go over the luxury tax. I think there was a lot of iffy stuff, but it's a complicated scenario. I think that Kris Bryant just wants an end to this.
Yes.
And if he's a Cub, I don't think he cares. I think if he plays for a different team, he doesn't care. I think he just wants the rumors to stop so he can focus on baseball. It seems like he's having a tough time focusing on baseball. That's not to blame. He just went through a grievance. He just went through trade talks. People are saying that he's not signing extensions when he never was offered them.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing.
His name's being dragged around Chicago, and I don't think he deserves that for being a former MVP and the guy who helped bring the first title since 1908 to the Cubs.
True. Ricky.
Yeah, the first thing I think of is something that I think it was right after it was hired. David Ross said, because he was asked obviously right away about the Kris Bryant rumors because they've been here for what seems like all year. And David Ross, I remember him saying, for a player like KB, it's like you just got to block out all the noise. You can't listen to what all these media markets are saying, all these websites, because they don't know what's going on. They're not in the clubhouse. All you can do is play baseball. And I wonder if that frustration, because I'd be frustrated too.
Yeah.
If I just wanted to play baseball and then everywhere I go, you can't go on Twitter, you can't go here because everyone's basically got an opinion about you and writing about you. I wonder how David Ross's manager is going to contain this season. Where I don't think it's going to be hard. Like, Bryant's a loose cannon. I'm not saying that.
Well, we were talking about him being traded before the season even starts already. So like he wouldn't even have a chance to contain.
Which I think Brandon on Fully Loaded said that he thinks that he would get traded before spring training. Okay. Like he thinks a deal would get done. It's either that or Mookie. I can't remember which one we were talking about.
Well,
but I can't wait to see once. Now at spring training, now it's like, okay, the team's coming together and you're going to be basically with this team all year. What kind of an influence will David Ross have on KB? And basically just like calm them down a little bit. Where if you have a frustration, come to the manager. Hey, you know what? Well, like where it's not like blown out and you don't have like just get KB worried about baseball.
I don't know if it's, and I don't think I was clear enough in what I was speaking about. I think David Ross is going to play a part of this as well, but this is the first time that Kris Bryant has had to speak.
Yes.
So this is everything that he's been holding back since the end of the
cap
year.
Is boom.
So I think that now he's gotten this off, and then he's going to be around his teammates for spring training. I think that frustration will kindle down. And also it seems like the rumors are swirling down a bit as well. And that's mainly because of the Mookie trade that has happened. I don't know if a trade is imminent. It seems like if any player is going to be dealt, at least in the third base market, it's going to be Arenado. Yeah. He's not going to show up to spring training, and that's not what Bryant's
those White
doing.
Sox rumors that we were hearing last week?
MLB Intel could suck a dick. I think that with Kris Bryant, he's not throwing a fit. Right? Yeah. He's showing up on time. He's ready to put the work in. I don't think this is something that he wants to deal with. And that's not saying he's unable to deal with it. Just like anybody. You want to go up and show up to work and not be talked about, you might get fired tomorrow. Yeah. You might be on a different team tomorrow. I don't think he wants to talk about that.
Especially if he's got a family with a newborn on the way. Am I going to have to uproot my family? Like, that's a lot to deal with when you've got a kid on the way.
Kris Bryant's got money.
No, I'm not talking about the money part. I'm talking about the kid on the way, and I got to worry about, could I get a call tomorrow that, hey, I got to move everyone, and the kid could be coming any day now, like that kind of stuff. That's what I'm talking about.
I think Kris Bryant is in a good enough situation where he can pay movers and have a house set up, the next day if his wife is pregnant. I mean, you have to spend 4 days in the hospital anyways. Like,
it's
you're flying with a newborn. Anxiety. Yes, but I mean, I think Kris Bryant can hold on to his Chicago apartment for just a little bit. He's got money.
Does he still live in an apartment?
I don't know.
He said apartment. That's why I was like,
he probably has some like nice ass apartment in the South Loop. I don't fucking know where Kris Bryant lives. But I don't think he's living poorly.
Hey, Hoiberg was a Burr Ridge guy.
Yeah, you never know.
Anyways, I don't think
Is Kris Bryant like a condo kind of guy to you?
Townhome.
He's got a duplex. Yeah. Anyways. Is it possible? Yes. Kris Bryant's a human. Those are human issues.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely. But I don't know if that's it. I just think it's like showing up to work every day and you've been talked about when you have this weird off season and everyone's like, you're going to be gone. 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 You have to show up then. Yeah. It's just like, you guys want me here or not? Yeah. And I think that's where it comes to also seeing everything on Twitter as well. And he called Twitter the worst thing to ever happen to the world, which is a great quote from him. But yeah, no, I think that he's just sick of dealing with this shit. And I don't know if, and that's why I talk about he wants a resolution. So whether that's Theo coming to be like, hey, you're going to be on this team.
Yeah.
Or whether it be like, hey,
we're going to do everything we can.
We're going to do everything we can to move you before the season starts.
Yep.
Or, hey, we're not going to trade you until the deadline, but we're also going to try to work out an extension with you. So you can at least plan July, you might be in a different city.
Yep.
I think that that's what he wants. He wants something to take his mind off so he can block out rumors and everything like that. Because he hasn't probably spoken to Theo, which is a little bit, it's on Theo to
it is kind of weird that
reach out and have more communication. Well, I don't think they want to give their hand up to anybody.
Okay.
They don't want to give their hand up to Boris and then Boris leaks rumors and then things spiral out.
Do you think they're not even sure? Do you think the Cubs management is not even completely sure that they want to trade Kris Bryant? Like right now, it's just like, hey, let's just get feelers, but we don't know if we really want to 100% make this move right now because, like, we've talked about it before. Javi, Kris Bryant, Schwarber. There's all these guys coming up that same time.
Somebody's getting paid and somebody's getting moved.
Is this
Bryant
just
would be the one to get paid?
Is this just still like in the side of? Well, yeah, he's the one that we would obviously need to trade because he's the one that people would want most. Or is it like hey, can we just feel out, and if we can move a Schwarber, then we can pay KB. Like,
that's Schwarber's not going to move enough salary to actually help pay KB. And also the problem isn't paying. I mean, the issue is paying KB now.
It's the tax.
they want to stay under the luxury.
Yeah, and moving KB, they would think. I think the idea has been packaging Hayward, and then they're well under. I honestly think the player that they would like to move altogether is Rizzo, but he is so far built up too much rapport with the fans. I think they've Jed's been with them since San Diego, so I don't think they really want to give up to him. And I don't. I'd
have a fit if they traded Rizzo.
But I don't think the value that the value isn't there for how much he is valued to the Cubs. Isn't the same value that the MLB holds on him.
I agree. I think
He's
it's
top 7 to top 10 first baseman in the league.
Yeah.
He's behind Pete Alonso. He's behind Freddie Freeman. He's behind. I'm not going to go through all the first basemen in the league. That's going to be a boring segment.
It would be.
But at least though, he's I don't even know, he's behind Goldschmidt likely. So I mean, right there's 3 just in the NL alone. But my point is that
he's top 10.
He's a guy that I think is more valued to the Cubs.
Yeah.
If he is a guy that they can move with his contract, I think they'd rather move Rizzo, keep Bryant and Baez. I think they also understand that Bryant is the best player on their team, but Baez is more likely to sign for cheaper and still be an effective player, where Bryant's going to want to sign for more money, which is going to be then more issues with the luxury tax, and also they can get probably a decent amount of return for him. So I don't think they want to trade anybody, but at least with the lack of backing from ownership, the lack of willingness to spend and keep Kris Bryant around going over the luxury tax, and at least trying to bail them out for the Hayward and Chatwood and Darvish mistakes, I think that it's just the situation that they're unfortunately in, and they put themselves in that situation. They didn't sign Jason Hayward, and again, if they didn't sign Jason Hayward, they might have a World Series, so it's a good issue to have. I think they wouldn't be in the situation, and Kris Bryant would be a Cub. It's a situation that Theo and Jed don't want to be in, but they are in it. I think Kris Bryant ends up having to take the blow for their bad mistakes with all these contracts, because he is the guy that is valued the most outside of their organization. Maybe Baez is as well, but I think he means a ton to the fans more, just because he's one of those guys that, it's always a highlight, and it's never Javi's problem because Javi's batting 4.
Yeah.
You look at Kris
That
Bryant
one
because
where he caught the gum in the dugout.
Yeah, I mean, Kris Bryant is seen as their best player.
Yeah.
So Kris Bryant is always going to have higher expectations, and if he has a down year where he only bats 901 OPS, ooh, God forbid your third baseman and best player hits plus a 900 OPS, you're going to get more criticism, and you're going to be seen as a choker, and it's unfair to Kris Bryant. Kris Bryant's your best player, and I don't think they want to move away from him, but that's the hand that they've been dealt with them, and that's the hand that they're going to have to go with.
Yeah, I think that for me, I still feel like everything will kind of wash away once spring training hits. I think like you said, the buzz in the media, it'll be this last outburst of buzz around him because he finally made a public statement, and then it's going to die down because he will be back to baseball and in the locker room with guys, and they'll see pretty quickly that it's like he's got no ill will towards any of his teammates. Like, he's there to play baseball. They all want to do that, and that'll be fine. I don't think we're going to see or hear too much outside of that until something more substantial happens.
If no trade rumors kick up from here to the start of this season, I think this will be a story that's dead in a week, and it won't pick up back again until the regular season. Because then you're going into the season, and all right, what's the narratives, right? Because when you're in spring training, it's all right. How's this team looking? What are we thinking? Is
any young kids looking like they're impressing?
And it's also, how is David Ross? That's the story's gonna be David Ross. And I think then come start of the regular season, you're going to start that kick to 162, and it's like, all right, what are we looking out for? Number one's going to be KD.
Trade deadline.
Where's it going to happen? So I think when we start regular season in March, that's where it's going to pick back up again. But I think if no rumors are leaked and nothing else is said, I think in a week the story's dead, and then it picks back up come late March.
Ricky, final thoughts.
I honestly hope they don't trade Kris Bryant. I know I've said it before, like when we talked about where he should be traded.
Yeah.
I just want him to stay. I know that Theo's not got the easiest job trying to keep all this together. But I think it'd be a sad day for Cubs fans if we got to wake up one day or be at work one day and get the notification KB is no longer on the 100%. Cubs.
If KB's traded, it's a disservice to the Cubs fans, but that's what happens when you have to go all in for a World Series, and it's pretty much, you have to look at it. If Kris Bryant is traded, you got a World Series, but unfortunately you can't have this franchise player in KB.
We're also talking about a team that fans not too happy with the owner right now, especially after that Cubs convention, with them booing the network when he was talking about it.
Yeah, well, that's a different issue, and that's mainly just because people are getting screwed out of their Cubs.
On top of trading a guy that the fans like in Kris Bryant.
Yeah, it's a shitstorm, but it's also, it's business wise, it's smart
that
for the Cubs to
understand if
go.
it's business. There will be people that understand.
Here's the thing: it's the Cubs.
Yeah.
Are you going to stop rooting for the Cubs if they trade Kris Bryant? No.
That's why I got almost ludicrous.
They know that they can get Cubs fans to not only pay for their network, show up to games, fill out Wrigley Field, buy all of this new fucking merchandise, fill up their stadium that they went 100% over budget to go in. I already said the network.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They'll pay out of ass to switch providers to get their network because it's the Cubs. They're the lovable losers, although they're making millions and hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
They're, everybody's favorite team. They're a national team with the whole WGN stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they trade Kris Bryant. They're not losing any support here in Chicago. Even if they lose. The White Sox can win 4 straight World Series. Yeah. You won't see that effect until 20 years from now when people are growing up White Sox fans. Yep. But for the next 20 years...
Attendance will still be under 25,000.
No, absolutely not. The Sox can be still a top 5 team in attendance if they start winning. They can reach that. The Cubs aren't going to dip below the Sox unless they are historically bad again.
Yeah.
If the Cubs win 85 games and the Sox win 95, head-to-head attendance record or attendance numbers. I think you're going after. That's what it was in 2005.
Wow.
The Sox only are high in 2005 and the 2 years after.
Right.
And when they're winning,
people actually show up.
It's filled out. But the Cubs filled out unless they are rebuilding.
Yeah.
Unless you have Tashida Wada pitching and no one's showing up to a September game against the Padres. That's where you're getting attendance dipping. But if this team's winning 85 games and they're above 500, whole place is gonna be packed.
All right. I think
what the Ricketts are doing is they're making money.
Yeah.
That's what owners do.
First and foremost, it's a business.
And they know your ass will still go and be in your Cubby fucking blue, taking the packed ass red line to Addison.
Hey, just because you wear black and white and I wear blue and red.
I'm just saying, people are all pissed off at the Ricketts, but if you're that pissed off, don't support them. Don't support your fucking team.
There's not people out there taking the stand like I've heard from Pete, who's been on the podcast with us, who lets us use this wonderful room.
I bet he's going to love that you share this.
Where I don't think he cares because it's like we've even had talks that his dad, Cub fan, watches every single game, and now because of the network won't be able to. Where he even said I might become a Sox fan.
Yeah,
and I went to the point where I'm like, oh, okay, now
Pete is in the minority, at least at that, and also
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's not a lot of people that will go to that extreme.
His dad just loves baseball, so I don't blame his dad for making that flip. But if that's what fans want to do, good. I think more fans should be doing that. But again, they know that they might take a small hit, but in the long run, they'll be making more money. Yeah. If they lose 100,000 fans, well, guess what? Your other millions of fans are going to be buying that fucking network, and you're going to be money out the ass.
Did the Yankees lose fans when they went to their own network? Did the Texas Longhorns lose? I know college is a little different.
The Yankees network worked.
Yeah.
Their fans were able to buy the network. Their fans were able to get great content from that network. The Yes Network was the first and the best team network ever. The Dodgers fucked themselves with that. The only reason why the Dodgers are in a good spot now is because they won. Yeah. So the Cubs, if they go out and win while having marquee, issue's not going to be a problem.
Yep.
Right? If they get those out to Xfinity partners, Xfinity customers right away, and they get the team back on track to a winning way, marquee is going to be a success. But if they go out and fail and start losing, why would Xfinity customers want to go watch a losing product? Yeah. There's going to be no push to go get them, and that's when they start losing money. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a two-edged sword where I think the Ricketts should be pushing to keep KB around, and I think maybe they are kind of maybe possibly behind the scenes of being like, no, you got to keep KB around. You have to find a different person to move so we can at least be more competitive. They're in this weird thing of they're trying to make money, and they're trying to fill out a network and also sell that network, but they have no one to buy it because the largest cable provider in Chicago cannot afford it right now because Xfinity isn't carrying marquee right now. But also, if they screw that over and they start losing, they're fucked. So people are going to support the Cubs. It's just not until they start losing and screwing over the fans at the same
They'll
time.
feel anything.
Yeah, until they feel anything.
All right. I think that's a good way to wrap up that segment around Kris Bryant and the Chicago Cubs as they look to cash in some more.